Hey dads. Okay, so you're settling into new parent life. And now you've got a trip plan that involves air travel. How can you make it work with a new baby? It can be hard to know where to begin. And for sure, there's plenty to consider in the world of kid travel. In this video, we'll cover some basic tips on what to know to plan and book your flight. We're focused specifically on babies in this video, which we're defining as a child who isn't yet mobile. Once your kid can move around, the game changes a bit, and when they're 2 years old, it changes some more. So we're gonna cover toddlers and 2-year-olds and up in other videos. Air travel. Not necessarily the most glorified thing these days. And now you're adding a baby to the mix. Whether you're a travel pro or more of an occasional leisure air traveler, be warned that traveling with a baby is a complete mental and physical 180 to anything you're probably used to. But fear not, with some basic prep and planning, and positive mindset of course, you'll be a kid travel expert in no time. Tip number 1, know the ticket rules. Kids under 2 years old qualify as lap infants, meaning they don't need a ticket, they fly free, and they share your seat. 1 lap infant is allowed per adult. So if there's 2 of you with twins, yes, they can both be lap infants. So this is a magical travel age where if you're up for it or if you need to travel, you get to take the baby along without breaking the bank. Here's how to make sure you're booking this properly. In this example, we're looking to fly JetBlue from Chicago to New York. Once we've picked the airports and selected departure and return dates, we need to pick the traveler types. Make sure you're selecting the right number of lap infants, under 2, in your search to get this set up properly. Other airlines have different booking processes, but make sure you select lap infant for your baby when booking your ticket. Or, for example, if you fly Delta, notify them about the lap infant you want to bring with you. Keep in mind that while lap infants are free on US domestic flights, this varies on international. Usually, you'll be hit with a bill for the taxes and fees, and even in some cases, a percentage of the fare. If you're a US-based traveler going international to say Mexico, check first with JetBlue, Southwest, or Alaska Airlines, because they only charge taxes, which will save you compared to others who charge a percentage of the fare. Also, keep in mind, you don't have to book the baby as a lap infant if you don't want to. Airlines are of course happy to take your money in exchange for a seat for the baby. And the reason you would want to do this is if you're bringing a car seat on the plane. If you're using miles, there's so many different carrier rules. So best practice is to check directly with the airline you want to book the award ticket through. Tip number 2, time sleep wisely. As you know, or are about to experience, newborns sleep a lot. So in this case, the schedule and timing of flights may be less important because they'll be out. But if you're bringing a slightly older baby with defined nap times, I'd suggest trying to time the flight to one of those naps if you can, so there's a bit of extra encouragement for them to spend most of the flight asleep, therefore not screaming. If you're looking at a longer flight, consider a flight close to their bedtime or even a red-eye. Tip number 3, consider plane type. Normally, I try to avoid regional jets. Look for the words operated by and a name like United Express, SkyWest, or Delta Connection next to the airline in your search. This is because these planes are smaller, but it can work to your advantage for baby flights because in some cases, these planes have 2 seats per row in economy, so with the lap infant, you're guaranteed to have your own row. Check the seat map to make sure before you book, and of course know it's possible that schedule and plane type changes can and do happen. Tip number 4, direct versus connection. So, you just heard the last tip about plane type. Well, a big thing that supersedes that is, can you find a direct flight that's not insanely more expensive than one with a connection? Or can you get 2 connecting flights in a schedule where the baby will be sound asleep for both? My recommendation for you is this. When you're traveling with young kids, the journey is not part of the destination. It's what you make it through to get to where you're going. Don't prolong the travel time any more than you have to, because the longer you're in transit, the more that could go sideways and lead to burnout. Focus on being prepared and take care of your physical and mental well-being by limiting your stress travel time as much as you can, even if that means spending a bit extra on a direct flight. Your future self will thank you for it. If you can book connecting flights that aren't too out of the way, this could also work well. You get a break in the middle to stretch, regain your composure, and each flight is shorter than if you were on one long flight. Tip number 5, status is iffy. If you have airline status, you may be conditioned like me to book that same airline for personal travel. But there are some things to think about when traveling with a baby. Early boarding won't matter since you can board early with a baby. If you have lounge access, it's also iffy whether you want to make the effort or just play it safe and hang around the gate. Strollers and car seats can be checked for free, so unless you're checking more bags, the free allowance won't matter. Now, I'm not saying to exclude your preferred airline in your search, but when traveling on personal time with a baby, schedule and cost and availability of flights often outweigh the benefits of status. That's it. I hope you feel more confident in making the best travel decisions for your family and your little one. And now that you're ready to book flights, it's time to think about what to pack and bring, which we'll cover in other videos. Until then, here's to all you great dads out there.